So we're here with Kaan Bennett chatting about his footballing career so far. Kaan, if you wouldn't mind telling us, how did you get into football in the first place?
To be honest, I got into football at a very young age. Obviously, watching dads, uncles, and people in my family, like everyone in my family is basically football crazy. So I was hardly ever going to grow up playing any other sport. So I got into it very, very quickly and actually found that I fell in love with it as well very, very quickly.
And in terms of your career progression, when did you join Colchester and what did you do beforehand as well?
Yeah, to be fair, in terms of the lads at the moment, I've probably been here maybe the least. I know there's a few lads that have been here for over 10 years, but I signed a little over 2 years ago now. Signed as a second year scholar, but so obviously I didn't do my scholarship anywhere else. So that was spent at grassroots. Come in under 18 season, sort of hit the ground running straight away. To be fair, considering it was my first time playing that proper academy football at a professional level. So enjoyed that first season and obviously at the end of it earned my debut and earned my next professional contract, which was the most important thing.
What was the feeling like for you signing that contract? How did you feel afterwards?
Yeah, obviously I was overwhelmed to be in the environment again, the professional environment. Obviously, especially being as that was one of the main things that you work to as a young kid as well, and knowing that you've got a contract to take you the next 1 or 2 years, because a lot of people are stuck with that feeling of uncertainty where they've got to try and find a new club. So I'm glad I kind of knew I had my future sorted and panned out.
And just going back to your youth career a little bit, what did you do before you joined Colchester, for anyone who doesn't know?
To be fair, as I said, I had a 2-year spell when I was quite young, about 9 or 10 years old at Arsenal. But other than that, I actually suffered quite a serious knee injury. So that kind of I found myself stuck in grassroots for a little while, and I actually ended up joining a college program when I was about 18 or 17, 18, which, to be fair, I can't fault them enough. They actually helped me massively, and I actually ended up playing a showcase game against Colchester, which in the end actually ended up me getting signed. So yeah. And
obviously your career progression shows a lot of persistence and mental strength as well. How do you sort of deal with that? How do you motivate yourself to keep going to achieve the highest aims that you set out for yourself?
To be completely honest, I can only really give props to my family. Obviously, all the long nights, the rainy days where they were taking me to and from football, and obviously, especially like having the love of the game. It was never, as I said, it was never going to be any other sport. It's kind of just to pay gratitude to them for all the hard work that they put into my career.
And as you've said, since joining Colchester, you've hit the ground running quite well. What's your sort of aspirations for the future? What will you try to achieve in your career at the club?
Yeah. In terms of the short term, to be fair, I've set myself individual targets of hitting a certain amount of goals and assists, obviously being an attacker in the team. But obviously for the long term, the obvious ones is earning a new contract and definitely being in and around the first team, because I was well aware when joining this club that it is a club that gives a lot of opportunities to young players, and I've seen it firsthand. So I feel like that's even more of an aspiration to push and to do well at this club. So
yeah, and in order for that to happen, in order for you to get a permanent place in the first team, what do you think you need to work on? Is there anything you need to improve in your game that will land you that place in soon?
Yeah, I think the only thing that stands out me watching the game and even when training, it is like exceptionally physical. So even if it's not me being so physical back, but in terms of being more clever, so knowing when to use my body, knowing when to vacate the space, or to swap with someone, for example. So yeah, I think it's more being quite clever, because I know I'm probably not built the biggest in terms of a lot of the players that I come up against in League Two, but it's about being more clever about it and using your football IQ. So.
And if someone asks you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, what's your sort of dream answer? Where do you want to be?
Obviously, hopefully, I'd want to be a regular in this team here, or if not, playing at a higher level, because I feel like obviously everyone's dream is to get that big move. If I was going to say in the next 5 years, the ideal would be to be playing in the Prem, to be playing on live TV, but I just don't know how things will pan out.